Okay, now we're talking about getting business for your social media business, specifically your Facebook business. And we're going to talk about how to do that on LinkedIn. And you may be wondering, well, gee, Lee, I thought this was all about Facebook. I didn't know that LinkedIn was part of this. Yeah, in the getting business part of this whole course, one thing I think that separates me from a lot of people who a lot of product creators in the offline space is the fact that I really tell you how to make money with stuff and give you ways of actually accomplishing building a business, not just telling you something cool that you can do, but gee, you're not going to make any money out of it because you don't know how to sell that or you don't know how to leverage that to get business. Where I come in is in the actual business building phase. So, we're going to talk about a way to use LinkedIn. I use it for this. A lot of people use it for what I'm going to talk to you about, but I'm going to give you the steps. Is this the only way? Probably not, but this is an extremely effective way of using LinkedIn. Now, here I am. I'm just on LinkedIn.com. I am logged in. You see my picture here. And basically, what we want to do is we want to use LinkedIn to grow a network. But it's more than just growing a network. It's more than just numbers. It's more than just essentially spamming people with useless connections. A connection on LinkedIn is like a friend on Facebook, okay? It's so much more than that. It's developing relationships. It's deepening relationships. It's understanding the people that you're connected to. It's becoming a useful resource to them. LinkedIn is not a numbers game. LinkedIn is more like a networking event. It's more like going to, say, Chamber of Commerce event and networking with people. Don't know why that popped up, but anyway. Um, let's say you went to a Chamber of Commerce event or a networking event or some business get together, or even if you were doing something else semi-business related that you enjoyed, but which you hoped would also have an effect on your business, like Toastmasters or something like that. How would you approach people there? What would you say to them? Let's say you went to like a meet and greet at the Chamber of Commerce. Well, so would you just walk in and then let's say there's a room of 30 or 40 business people of various types, small business people, medium-sized business people, maybe a few corporate VP types, et cetera, et cetera. And let's say that your businesses consist of selling mobile websites, you got an SMS platform, and you can do video marketing. Just so we can talk specifics. And let's say that in general your lead product is your mobile website. So what are you going to do? You're going to just like spam the room? You're going to walk up to people and say, "Hi, I'm Bob Smith. I sell mobile websites. Here's my card. If you need that, I'd be very happy to hook you up with one." And then you go to the next person, you say that, you go to the next person, you say that, you go to the next person, say that. Do you think that's going to work? It might work a little bit, frankly, but there's a much, much, much better way of doing this because most people in that room are going to see you as a taker and not a giver. And most people in that room have enough sense to understand that you need to be a giver first before you even consider being a taker. Now, so a much better way of handling like a Chamber of Commerce event or an in-person event would be to walk up to somebody, say, "Hi, I'm Bob Smith. What's your name?" "I'm so-and-so. I'm the Vice President of Marketing of a local tire company. We're the biggest tire warehouse." I'm just making this up. "We're the biggest tire warehouse distributor in the Southeast." So from that point, again, you're not going to say, "Oh, okay, do you have a mobile website?" you know, that's going to look stupid. You're going to look so amateurish. What would you do then? What you should do then is you should start asking them real questions about their business and themselves. And you should be really, really legitimately interested in them and the answers. So let's continue that conversation. So say, oh, that's really cool. How long have you been doing this? Well, I've been working for this company. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and I've been working for this company for the past 5 years. So you mentioned that you're the vice president of marketing. That's cool. Exactly what do you do? And so you ask questions, and you shut up and hear the answer, and you develop a relationship, and you don't push it. Maybe exchange business cards with that person. Okay, so maybe that person, you feel like you've gone about as far as you can go with that person, and the 2 minutes you talk to them, you say, well, here's my business card. You don't even tell them what you do. Here's my business card. You get their business card. You know, I'd love to keep up with you, and you know, maybe we have coffee or something sometime. You know, just throw that out there. Don't, you're not selling anything yet. Don't close for an appointment. So then if you go around the room building relationships, let's say that in that room you had time during the meeting time, however it works, you know, you had time to really talk to 10 people. You ended up with 10 cards. You haven't sold anything. But what you're doing is you're building a relationship with 10 people in 10 vastly different businesses, probably. So what would you do there? You would deepen the relationship. You would think about who was a little standoffish, who was very open to your suggestion that we go to Starbucks or, you know, get coffee and, you know, talk about business, you know, whatever. I mean, you wouldn't push it. You would just intelligently understand where that person was. And you probably do something, if you're really smart, you probably do something like go back to your office or wherever you work from. I work from home, and sit down and write everybody a handwritten note. Because let me tell you something, handwritten notes are gold. They just stand out in this day and age of email. Hey, so and so, it's really great to talk with you. You know, you could say something like, saw your company's website online. That's a very cool business. Look forward to talking with you in the future. Hope to see you at some more chamber events. You're not pitching. You're not selling. You actually are building a friendship. Okay, a business friendship. So you go to these events and you collect these cards and you build these friendships, and you over time send people information, help them understand what you do, what it is that you do without trying to sell them. You do that by sending them links to website articles on websites they may be interested in. You do that by printing out articles and send that to them in the mail about stuff they might be interested in. You're never selling, you're positioning yourself as a go-to person for internet stuff. Now, what I said right there was really key. You're positioning yourself as a go-to person for internet stuff. You let the relationship build, you let the trust build, you also let your understanding of their business build, and you let them come to you and ask you questions. And from that point, you start to suggest solutions, which of course are solutions that your business provides. So this is how you would do this in person. Now, the cool thing about LinkedIn is you can do this on LinkedIn, this exact same thing. Finding people, connecting with them, that's like you walking up to the person at the chamber event and, you know, sticking out your hand saying, hi, I'm so-and-so, just wanted to introduce myself. They introduce themselves. In LinkedIn, that's called a connection. Telling them, you know, asking them questions about them, telling them a minor amount about you, enough so that they feel like you're a giver, but not enough so that they feel like you're pitching them. and then start finding common ground, commonality. It's, you know, it's like, again, it's like the chamber event, it's like a business cocktail party. That's what it's like. So I'm going to show you how to do that actually on LinkedIn. So number one, we're not at a chamber event, so we don't have a room full of people that we would like to get to know. So the first thing you got to do is you got to start making some connections intelligently with people. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, if you just start, I'm going to use realtors as an example. You can do this in a bunch of different ways, but you'll see why I'm using realtors. This is not just focused on real estate agents. You can do what I'm talking about with any type of business. You can slice this up in a bunch of different ways. You can slice it up locally. You can slice it up by business vertical. Um, but you'll see why I chose real estate agents. I mean, you know, we could have chosen marketing professionals in Atlanta. We could have chosen marketing professionals in London. We could have chosen a bunch of different things. Now, if you just type in realtors or real estate agents here, hit search, you get a whole list of them, and you start connecting with people, that's okay, but there's a better way of doing this, okay? There's a better way of establishing a reason to connect with them so that when they get the connection, you know, the ad in, you know, so that when they get your request, it'll make sense to them and they won't think you're just spamming them. Okay, so watch. Here, so here I am actually going to type in the word realtor for realtors. And you see I get all this stuff, okay? So I could search connections, I could search realtors, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do this in a little more sophisticated way. So, but right now I'm just going to hit search. Okay, now 317,000 results for realtors. Well, you could just click on these people's names and you could just, you know, send them a connection request, and that's one way of doing it. Again, we're going to create a reason for them to, so that it looks like it makes sense that you want to connect with them from their point. So over here we can narrow our search I can't talk. Our search. We got all here, so we're getting people, jobs, companies, groups, universities, and you know, blah blah blah, whatever, all that stuff. You can also narrow it to location, but so if you're doing something location based instead of business type based, you can do this like that. But right now we're going to narrow this to groups. Now, groups are basically that. I mean, it's like a Facebook group. It's a bunch of people who are interested in a specific type of thing, okay? Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to look down through here and you're going to pull up some groups and you're going to join those groups. Now, this is just like on Facebook. I mean, there are closed groups and open groups, or they're called private groups, the closed ones. So let's look at luxury realtors and brokers. Those people would be a nice bunch of people to develop a relationship with. Now, I'm not a member of this group because it says join. It's got almost 9,000 members. It's a private group. To request membership, click join. Your request will be reviewed by the group manager. But if you look down through here, you'll see that there are a bunch of folks who are not necessarily real estate agents. Phil's a loan officer. Dean's a chief web strategist. I don't know what that is. Not sure what he is. That's real estate, luxury home expert. So you've got some people in here who are not real estate agents. So it would make sense. And you got some marketing people in here. So it would make sense that you could join this group. Now, are they necessarily going to let you in the group? No. Are you going to, is there some time frame for, accepting your request? No. Generally like in a day or two. But that's how you do it. You want to become a member of some groups. So if you want to become a member of this group, you would just click that join button and become a member of the group. Let's look at some more. Texas Association of Realtors, almost 6,000 members. Look at this, today's real estate agent, a group for highly motivated and successful realtors. I haven't even looked at that. Okay, so you can join this. You just hit join. And let me get a good idea. Now, so what I want you to do is I want you to pick a business type or pick, you could type in locational type stuff, but start joining a bunch of groups, okay, a bunch. As long as it's related to the type of business that you want to sell to, you just go ahead and try to join the group. Are you going to get in all of them? No, but if you pick a bunch, you'll get in some of them. And most of these groups have several thousand members, so you'll have plenty of people to prospect. So what would be the next step? So let's say you joined a bunch of groups. Then if you will come back here to interests and hit groups, this will show you a page of all the groups that you belong to. So then you want to start opening up those groups. For instance, I joined a few days ago this group, Florida Realtors. So I'm going to open that up. Oops, right here. Okay. 4,000 members, Florida Realtors. Now I'm a member of this group. See how it says member? So let's open up this members. As a matter of fact, let's look at this level. It's going to list the members according to how close their connection is to you. Okay, there are a couple of people here that are connected to me directly. The second means that they're, one step removed from me, et cetera, et cetera. So, Teresa Kinney, CEO at Miami Association of Realtors. Okay, so I had connected with her, and let's find somebody and I'll show you how to connect. Phyllis is a realtor in Daytona Beach. Let's look at Phyllis. Now, don't overanalyze this. Okay, I mean, don't sit here and read all this stuff yet. Successful technical sales person, 20 years experience, blah blah blah. Now, watch this. Before I was in this group, if I had tried to connect with Phyllis and we didn't have anything in common, I would just come up with a page that says, send Phyllis a request for a connection, but there would be no real reason once Phyllis gets this. There would, she's saying, well, who is this guy? Now, Phyllis may well accept that request just because she wants to expand her network. Well, she's a realtor. She's very interested in just expanding her network. But what if the person was a vice president of marketing of some medium-sized corporation? They may not want a massive number of spam connections. So they may be a little more selective in who they accept. So that's why we do it this way. Now, if I want to connect with Phyllis, I'm going to hit connect. It's just like on Facebook. She doesn't have to accept the request. It's not automatic. It's like on Facebook when you friend somebody, they get a friend request and they accept it or deny it. But look at this. Excuse me. Look at this. It says, how do you know Phyllis? Groups. See, now I can essentially, through this mechanism, Phyllis will see, hey, here's this guy in this Florida Realtors group, and he wants to connect with you, and that's going to make a lot more sense to her to accept the connection. You can just leave this like this. I'd like to add my professional networking LinkedIn link. Send invitation. So once you're in some groups, you want to send out a bunch of these. You can send out 20 a day. All right. Now, you can't do that on Facebook, by the way. Facebook will eventually end up banning your account. But you can do that on LinkedIn all day long. So you can rapidly build up your network on LinkedIn. So you're going to send out a bunch of connection requests, okay? They're going to say, I'd like to add you to my professional network. It's going to explain that you're in the same group that they're in. It's going to make sense to them. A bunch of people, a very high percentage of them are going to accept this. That's when it starts to get good. That's when you got something to work with. Now, again, just like at the chamber event or the cocktail party, getting the connection request is like shaking someone's hand and telling them who you are, giving them your name and getting their name. And you know, I was talking about that, and I said, I mean, you could just spam them with whatever you sell at that point, but that's going to look really amateurish, and it's going to be very off-putting to a lot of people. You're going to miss the relationship building phase. Some of these people that you can connect with on LinkedIn will send you business for the rest of your career. Yeah, that's how valuable some of these people are. So, you don't want to, once they accept your connection request, you don't want to just spam them with, you know, what you do. You do want to tell them a little bit about what you do so that they feel comfortable in telling you what they do. Now, I'm going to show you a good thing to tell somebody what to do in just a second, but let me tell you where you want to go to find the people who've accepted your request. So if you go to this little flag, I just hovered over it during a pause in this video. Normally there's a little number here, like that red number to the left, there's a little number here. In my case, there would be a 2 there because I have 2 new connections. Let's click on that. Notice Teresa is now my connection. I sent her a connection request, she accepted. Now she and I says first, she's directly connected to me. That's cool. I'm going to, let's click on her. Now look at those. Now I can send her a message. And I'm going to show you what kind of message you want to send her. Again, you want to give before you take. You don't want this to look like spam, and you don't want it to look like the only reason you care about Teresa is because you want to sell her a mobile website. Okay. So let me type out something, and you put this, you know, I'm not giving you, there's not like some golden, there's kind of a formula to this, but it's not that tight. So it's not like I'm going to give you, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You have to follow the overall general steps work really well, but you don't have to say exactly what I say, which is why I'm just going to sit here and type this. So you can say, hi, Teresa, great to, thanks for the ad. Now, next you want to tell Teresa a little bit about you, just enough so that Teresa understands who you are, but you don't want this to sound like a pitch, okay? Something like that, okay? Now, if you can, you want to do 2 things. In this next thing, you want to notice something about Teresa so that she knows that you actually read about her. She's in Miami, okay? So, you know, if you have some connection, like if you have a family member, you know, like, you know, my brother-in-law lives in Fort Lauderdale, you know, my sister-in-law lives in South Florida, beautiful place. I used to be a real estate agent, blah, 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 blah. Just some kind of connection, and don't lie, don't make it up. If there's no connection at all, that's okay. I mean, generally, if you think about it, you can find some commonality between you and virtually every person on the planet. Um, so that's my commonality with them. Okay, now that's real. That's me. I actually was. So if you weren't, don't say that. Now we want to, just like at the chamber event or the cocktail party, we want to ask Teresa to open up to us and tell us about her. Okay, so used to be a realtor, notice something. This is important. This means you're real. This means you care. This sentence, love to know more about what you do. Okay, or you could say do at the Miami Association of Realtors. Put that in your own words. Now, down here, if you have a website, like your business website, you can put that there. Don't put it up here. That'll look too pushy. Just drop it in there. If you don't, it's okay. But the next step for everyone who accepts your connection request is for you to ask them about them. Enough about you so that you gave first before you took. Personal connection, if any, and a request to know more about them. You know, you can make it very open-ended like this, or if there's a specific thing that they do that you're interested in or that you can talk about, make it specific, your name, your website. Is everybody going to respond to this? No. So that would be the next step. You're going to hit send a message, and you can put this in the message. Is everybody, are all the Teresas of the world going to respond back? A lot of them will. Some of them won't. And you don't worry about the ones that won't. You're just collecting the ones who will. Now, where do you go from here? Well, where would you go at the cocktail party? Where would you go at the chamber meeting? Somebody starts talking about stuff. You would develop a relationship like an intelligent human being. You would ask them more. You would find more commonality. You would send them something interesting, that you found online um, that you thought they might be interested in. Like, let's say you found an article about how real estate is coming back, after the recession in Florida. You would send that to them. You'd send Teresa a message and say, "Hey, Teresa, I was just thinking about you. I read this article on, the Miami, what is it, the Miami Herald? I don't even know what the big paper in Miami is. But let's say you were on their website, you read an article. Now, Teresa probably read it too. But just the fact that you sent it to her and say, I know Florida real estate took a big hit during the recession. It's really cool to see that things are coming back. This is an exciting time to be a realtor in Florida. So you're deepening that relationship. You're not selling. You're not spamming. This is real. You're really going to be interested in Teresa, really. And then you're going to start just building that relationship out however it goes. You can do this online. I actually do like to give people's addresses and send them stuff. If I feel it's the right time, I'll call, to say, if Teresa's kind of would ask me about stuff online, I'd say, hey, Teresa, I'd be very happy to help you out with that. It's going to be easier with phone call than messaging back and forth on LinkedIn. Give before you get. Give her your telephone number. Ask her for her telephone number. Here's my telephone number. What's yours so that I can recognize it when it comes in? Talk to her, give her 5-10 minutes, blah blah blah. You're getting very, very close. You're positioning yourself. Now you can do this over time. It really doesn't take that long to start getting some business out of this. But if you did this consistently over time, you could build an entire business based on what I've showed you. An entire business. This is really cool. And where are you going to go with this? What's it got to do with Facebook? Well, this is a course about Facebook. I'm talking all about Facebook and offline marketing. What you can do for businesses on Facebook, with Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So at some point with Teresa, you check out the Miami Associated Realtors Facebook page. You might give her a little, PLR report that you branded with your, that you branded for your business. You might make some, as you get to know her, you might make a couple of suggestions about their Facebook page gently, that kind of thing. So since we're talking about Facebook, one of the services you sell are all these Facebook services. You can gently move the conversation toward that. All right. So in this course, we're talking about lots of cool stuff, lots of advanced stuff, how to target, how to target competitors' pages, how to target, how to get those, how to basically get those people off those pages and advertise to them using Facebook advertising. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff here. But you would gently insinuate that into the conversation with Teresa. And if you got a website, that would be cool. You don't have to have a website, but it would be nice for you to have a website. Look, it doesn't have to be much. Okay, it has to have a home page, an about page, a contact page, and like if you samples. Okay, so if you're doing timeline covers, blah, 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 you'd have some samples of those. You'd also have some descriptions of your services, et cetera, contact me for prices, that kind of thing. Another thing is you want your profile on LinkedIn to, right here, edit profile. You want that to really reflect who you are and why you are on LinkedIn. Because I guarantee you, Teresa's going to come look at your profile. She's going to come. How do I know this? I do this when people connect with me. Oh, well, who is that person? I go to the profile, glance at it. Yeah, that's cool. Accept the ad. Now, don't overthink the profile. Just write down what you do. Okay. Website. Don't overthink that. Garden variety website, nice looking business theme, or even, I mean, WordPress's default themes are actually pretty nice looking. Do that. Don't overthink that. Don't overthink this, but start building a network of people here. And I'm not joking. You can create a massive business just on LinkedIn, but just by doing exactly what I told you. Cool. And again, since it's about Facebook, you can get a lot of Facebook business from these people because, obviously Teresa's going to be interested in Facebook. Cool beans. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you later.